In canon, Dooku became a political idealist who ended up leading a secessionist movement away from the Republic. Because of his work with Darth Sidious and his fall to the dark side, Dooku meets his end at the hands of Anakin Skywalker. One of our viewers, though, had an interesting thought. What if, instead of all that, Dooku actually ended up becoming the Supreme Chancellor? That's the concept that we'll be exploring today. So, find a glass of blue milk, a Wookiee to snuggle with, and let's dive right into this what-if scenario. Our story begins right after the vote of no confidence against Chancellor Valorum in The Phantom Menace. Just like in the movie, the names of Bail Antilles, Ainley Team, and Palpatine of Naboo are all put forward for the nomination. However, in this timeline, a fourth figure is given special permission to enter the race, the respected former Jedi Master, Count Dooku of Sereno. He'd seen the blockade on Naboo and could tell that if the big corporations kept gaining power, things were going to fall apart. He makes a strong case for why he should be the next leader of the Republic. His main platform rests on there being a broken system that needs fixing, and he actually has real solutions. Unlike Palpatine, who mostly just talks about stopping corruption, Dooku proposes solid changes that a lot of the senators appreciate. When the day comes for the election, the Senate chooses Dooku over Palpatine, hoping his reforms will come to pass. Dooku accepts the appointment, and he commits himself to making the galaxy a better place. How does this massive change impact the rest of our story? Let's keep going and find out. Dooku's first actions as Supreme Chancellor are to go right after the corruption he's been talking about for years. He doesn't surround himself with political allies, but with experts and auditors. His first targets are the most powerful groups in the Republic: the Trade Federation, the Commerce Guilds, and the Intergalactic Banking Clan. Dooku launches sweeping investigations, using special commissions to bypass the gridlocked Senate committees. He starts freezing assets, canceling unfair trade deals, and even ordering arrests that go way up into the corporate leadership. He argues that this isn't tyranny, but necessary surgery to save the Republic. The reaction is immediate and split. On working-class worlds and out in the Outer Rim, people are celebrating. For them, Dooku is a hero, finally giving a voice to the voiceless. But back in the core worlds and inside the Senate, a lot of powerful people get very scared. Senators who built their careers on corporate money now find themselves being investigated. They voted for a reformer, but they didn't think he'd be a revolutionary. And behind the scenes, a certain Sheev Palpatine watches his grand plans start to fall apart. His path to power is gone. The apprentice he was grooming, Darth Tyrannus, has taken the ultimate prize for himself. But Palpatine is patient. His plans might be delayed, but they are far from over. In the years that follow, the Republic starts to transform. Under Dooku's steady hand, the government becomes more centralized and a lot more efficient. To deal with the corporate resistance, Dooku argues for and gets expanded executive powers to push his reforms through. A lot of senators, afraid of being called corrupt themselves, give him what he wants. And here, the line between a reformer and an autocrat starts to get a little blurry. One of the biggest changes is how he deals with the Jedi Order. As a former master, he knows them inside and out. He doesn't push them aside. Instead, he pulls them directly into his government. He sets up Jedi-led task forces to oversee his anti-corruption work, putting them in positions of real political authority. Jedi Knights, who used to be peacekeepers, are now acting as investigators and special prosecutors for the Chancellor. This creates a huge divide in the Jedi Council. Master Yoda and Mace Windu are worried, sensing the danger in tying the Order so closely to politics. They're afraid it will compromise the Jedi's purpose of one man's agenda. But many of the younger, more idealistic Jedi are excited. They see a chance to finally make a real difference, something they've been frustrated about for years. For the first time, the Jedi Order isn't just an ally of the Republic. It's becoming an arm of the government. Meanwhile, in the shadows, Darth Sidious comes up with a new strategy. He can't challenge Dooku directly since the Chancellor is too popular and powerful. So Sidious does what he does best. He manipulates. He starts whispering in the ears of the angry corporate leaders and the nervous Outer Rim senators. He frames Dooku's popular reforms as a power grab, painting a picture of a Coruscant-led government that wants to crush the independence of other systems. In this scenario, he doesn't need to create a public pug separatist movement. Dooku's own actions are creating one for him. This new timeline is twisting the fate of the galaxy in ways we could never have imagined. Dooku's republic is powerful, but it's built on a foundation of centralized control that makes many uneasy. If you're enjoying this exploration of an alternate Star Wars history, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more what-if scenarios. Now let's see how this powder keg finally ignites. The breaking point of Dooku's chancellorship isn't a secret clone army, but an open rebellion. Fueled by Sidious's shadow campaign, a coalition of Outer Rim systems and a few angry mega-corporations officially secedes from the Republic. They call themselves the Alliance for Freedom, and they label Chancellor Dooku as a dictator. Their mission statement talks about liberty, but it's really driven by a desire to go back to the old, corrupt way of doing things. This isn't the separatist crisis from our timeline. This is a real civil war, with a centralized republic fighting a wealthy insurgency. Dooku saw something like this coming and had already started the process of creating a formal republic military, arguing openly that a professional defense force was needed. Right off the bat, that new military, made up of willing recruits from all over the Republic, is sent into action. This puts the Jedi in an impossible spot. They are now officers of a government at war with its own former members. The same Jedi who were rooting out corruption are now expected to command troops against the secessionists. This tests their loyalty, not to the Force, but to the Chancellor. And it tears the Order apart in a way Order 66 never could, pitting their duty to the Republic against the core beliefs of the Jedi Code. The new reality of the galaxy is complicated. The Republic was saved from Darth Sidious's secret plot, but it hasn't become a perfect democracy. Instead, it's a disciplined, orderly, and very authoritarian state. It's led by a powerful chancellor who believes that control is the price of keeping the peace. Corruption is down, and the mega-corporations are broken, but personal freedoms have been limited for the sake of security. The Jedi Order isn't extinct. There was no Order 66, but you could argue that they are lost. They've become a political wing of the government, and their moral authority is gone. They are respected as agents of the state, but they're also feared as the enforcers of the Chancellor's iron will. The line between peacekeeper and soldier has been completely erased. So the galaxy isn't ruled by a Sith empire, but by the firm hand of a reformist leader. The war that's raging is a bitter fight over what the Republic should even be. Dooku, in his mission to save the Republic from its own corruption, may have ended up destroying the very principles it was built on. He's a hero to a lot of people and a tyrant to others. And the whole time, the true threat, Darth Sidious, is still out there, patiently waiting in the shadows for his next opportunity to plunge the galaxy into darkness. This leaves us with a final, thought-provoking question. In this new timeline, is Dooku's disciplined republic a lesser evil than Palpatine's empire, or is it just a different road to the same dark place?